So in this video we're going to be changing the heater hose that goes from our coolant reservoir down to our water pump right there, and it also goes up to our, get in picture, heater core. So these are notorious for this little Y plastic fitting the crack, and up on this end of the hose you've actually got a little plastic connector that goes onto your heater cord. Those are super bad about leaking as well. You can see on the other side I've actually removed the plastic connector and just put the regular clamp. So that's what we're going to do on this side too, because it's just a matter of time before that plastic coupler starts leaking. And if you touch it at all, if it's not leaking, it will be leaking. So if you want to reuse that, if you want to use that style, pick one of those up when you pick your hoses up. Now this hose did not come with one. Let me back this thing back out. So what we're going to do is take that fitting off. We're going to use one of these fuel fittings. So what you're going to need for this job: your hose, pair of pliers, an 8mm or whatever size socket your hose clamp is going to take, and some fuel connection fittings. So of course we're going to drain our coolant, all that good stuff. And if you'll look, this hose runs down to the water pump right here. So we'll take that clamp loose, pull the hose off there, then I'll flip you upside down, or I won't. If you look right there on your coolant tank, that'll come loose. And then of course our pesky little fitting on the heater core, that's going to be the hardest part of your whole entire job, is messing with that. So we'll get to it. That should be everything. Make sure your engine's cool, and we're going to go ahead and look at taking that fitting up on the firewall off. So the way these little things work, they've got a sleeve on them that actually, this will snap onto your heater core. You'll push it against the hose while you're pushing the hose back, and it'll pop in and release a tab so the hose can slide off. And I believe it's going to be this third size down right here. Let's see if I can get y'all a little bit of a closer shot. So I've got my fitting on there, if we can get this thing to focus. Now you're going to push in on your heater hose, and then while you're pushing in, you're going to pull that fitting towards it. You might have to twist it back and forth, pull it towards it, and once it's in there all the way, keep pressure on it and kind of twist your whole hose and pull just a little bit and see if she comes loose. If not, back up, wash, rinse, and repeat, and eventually that hose will come off. When these things are older, sometimes they are a little bit of a pain. So let me see if I can get my little tool up in there and see if we can get this hose off so I can explain it a little bit better. So I've got my tool pressed all the way up in there, and we'll see if we get really lucky and I can do this with one hand, if we can get this thing to focus. Golly, come on. Alright, so we're going to kind of twist. We're going to hold our tool so it don't come out. Just like that. See if I can get y'all a picture. So you can see this little tab right here. That is what that tool's pushing in. I'll slide it off. So this tool actually squeezes up in there, presses those tabs so they don't catch the rib on your heater heater hose pipe or heater core pipe. So that's gonna be the hardest part of this entire job. Like I said, these things, they're prone to leak. If you replace it, it's gonna leak again. So if our hose is long enough, we're gonna do like we did on this side. We're gonna run the hose straight up on the heater core, all the way back to that rib, hose clamp it, and she will be good. So next, we will take our clamp off our coolant reservoir, and then if we look down, it's gonna be this one right here because it's the T. Take that clamp loose and we'll remove the hose. If I can get it in video, something else that's useful is when you get these clamps off, sometimes most of the time that hose isn't just going to pull off. So what you can actually do is take your pliers, if I've got enough room right here, put them on your hose and work them back and forth to try and break that hose free, and twist it and pull. And I actually just broke the fitting, so see if we can get this thing going off here. Anyways, y'all need to watch this. If you're having too much trouble with it, take your razor blade, since you're not reusing it, put a little slit in it right there, and it'll come right off and it won't fight you. So with the hoses, the old hose out of the way, move your clamps over to your new hose, and it's as simple as popping that bad boy back on there. And there it is. So we've got our hose connected up there, down there, got it back in its clamp, and we've got it connected back there. So you're good to go. You can either vacuum fill the cooling system if you've got one of those fancy tools. Most of you probably don't, so remove your cap, fill this thing up with coolant, let your engine idle or run, whatever you want to do, until it gets to operating temperature, and top it off as needed. Then after a cool down cycle, check it again to be sure. But that's it. Hopefully this helped you out. If it did, hit that like and subscribe. If you have questions or anything else, put them in the comments.